Hey guys, today we're going to start talking about the surface area of pyramids and cones. So here are our notes here, and it has the formula right there on the side. So for this one, you still have lateral area and surface area. So lateral area is all of the faces that are not the base. So if you look at that pyramid that they have drawn there, lateral area would be all the ones that are not shaded in. So in order to find that, it's kind of like a triangle. It's 1/2, so right here, 1/2 L times P. So P is the perimeter of the base. So we're going to have to find the edges of the base here. And L, this is the slant height. So be careful with this. It's not like regular height. Like if I'm looking here, this is labeled with H. That's the height of the pyramid. Slant height is when you're looking at one of these faces on the side, how tall that one is. So we need that. Okay, and then for total surface area, we still need to find the lateral area. So we need to find the area of all the unshaded parts. But then we also need to add capital B. So capital B would be the area of the base, of the bottom there. And this one just happens to be a square, but sometimes it'll be a triangle, sometimes it'll be other shapes. So this one tends to change. Okay, so let's look at number 1. So for this one, I'm going to go ahead and shade in the base just so that it's easier to see. The base is that square there at the bottom. I know it's a square because the length and the width are both the same number. They're both 8. And then also they have it labeled with right angles on each of the corners. So that's going to be the base. So I'm going to save that for last. What I want to start with is the lateral area. So 1/2 L times P. So I need to figure out what is P. So P would be the perimeter of that square. But since both sides are 8, that means that over here in the back, they're also going to be 8. 8 times 4, so 4 sides, gives us 32. So that's the perimeter of the base. So starting my surface area formula, it's 1/2 L. So for us, L is that 11.7. And then times the perimeter that we just found to be 32. Okay, plus, now the rest is capital B, and that's going to be the area of the shaded in part. So for us, that's going to be the area of this square. Well, how do you find area of a square? It is kind of like rectangle where it's length times width, but more specifically, because those are going to be the same number, you just have to do side to the second power. So 8 to the second power. So instead of figuring them out separately, I'm just going to put it all together at once. And let's just throw that into the calculator. Round to the nearest hundredth if that is necessary, but what I am getting, 251.2, and they're measuring in meters, so this is going to be square meters. Okay, let's try the next one. Also a square pyramid. The bottom is a square. So let's highlight that so we can see it better. So let's start off our surface area formula with the lateral area. L is going to be our 7.4. So see how it's that dotted line that's the height of the side. I also need P. I need perimeter of the base. So there's 4 sides and they're all 5. So our perimeter is going to be 20. And now let's just plug things in. So 1/2 7.4 times 20 plus we want the area of the base, and since the side is 5, it's going to be 5 squared. Just type it into the calculator all at once, round to the nearest hundredth if you need to. But this one actually ends up being a whole number. I get 99, and they are measuring in square inches. Okay, so since we already did 2 that are squares, I'm going to skip number 3. Number 3 is another square. Let's look at number 4. Okay, so starting with number 4, the base is not a square anymore. This time, it is a triangle. So let me highlight it so we can see it better. That's the base of our pyramid. Okay, and then we need to find our slant height. So that is this right here. So 6.7 is going to be our L. And then we need to find perimeter of the base. So this time, the base is a triangle, so I only have 3 sides. So this that I have highlighted, that's the perimeter. All 3 of them are 10. So 3 times 10 would give us 30. So into our surface area formula, we have 1/2 slant height, so 6.7, times our perimeter, 30, plus we want the area of the base. So I want the area of the part that I have highlighted purple. It's a triangle, so it's also going to be 1/2 base times height. So 1/2, if all the sides are 10, then the base has to be 10. And then for height of that triangle, height always has to be perpendicular to the base. So it's kind of hard to see, but there is a little square there. So that means that this line is considered the height, and that is 8.7. Okay, so let's type this in all at once and round to the nearest hundredth if we need to. But I actually get another whole number. This is 144 square inches. Okay, let's try another one that has a triangle base. So I'm going to highlight it so we can see it better. There's our base. So in order to find the surface area of this pyramid, we need to have our slant height, which is already labeled. Slant height is this one right here. So that is going to be L. And then we need perimeter of the base. So looking at that bottom, all 3 sides are 7. 3 times 7 is 21. So that perimeter is 21. Let's start plugging in our numbers. Surface area is equal to 1/2 slant height times perimeter. So that's 21.2 times 21. And then plus area of the base. So since our base is a triangle, it's going to be 1/2 length times width. So if all 3 sides are 7, then that for sure has to be our base. But then we need the height of just that base here. So that's going to be this dotted line here. I know that it makes a right angle, so 6.1. Type this in all at once. Round to the nearest hundredth if you need to. So I get 149.45 square centimeters. Okay, so far we've done 2 square pyramids and 2 triangular pyramids. I want to do number 6 just because this one is not as common. This one has a hexagon as a base, and as you can see, they already shaded it in. Now, regular hexagons kind of take a lot of work to find the area of. It's on the formula sheet that I gave you guys, but for a regular hexagon, to find the area of that, it would be 1/2 apothem times perimeter. Now, I know that one of the sides is 6, so finding perimeter would be pretty easy. But you also need apothem. Apothem would go perpendicular to one of the sides, and that's not labeled. So instead, what they did is they already shaded it in, and they already told us that the base has that area, 93.53. So we don't really have to worry about that part. We just have to worry about the surface area formula. So we need, for the surface area formula, our slant height, which is labeled right here. So 11.3 is our slant height. We need to find perimeter of the base. So if one side is 6, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides, 6 times 6 is 36. That's going to be our perimeter. So surface area equals 1/2 times 11.3, our slant height, times 36, our perimeter of the base, plus the area of the shaded in bottom portion, which they already told us is 93.53. Okay, so just plug this into the calculator all at once, and I get 296.93 yards, square yards. Okay, so those are those examples there. All of these are regular pyramids. So remember, when the base turns into a circle, it's not called a pyramid anymore. It is called a cone. It is technically the same formula. It's just that now, because the base is a circle, we have to incorporate those circumference and area of a circle formulas. So there they are right there. So this is our lateral height. And so our slant height is always going to be the edge of that cone. So don't confuse it with just the regular height of the cone. That is something different. So slant height is that edge. And then of course we're going to need our radius. So at the bottom, radius. And that's about the only two things you need. Just make sure that you plug them in correctly into that formula. Okay, so find the surface area of each cone below. We're only going to do the first two. Okay, so we need our slant height. So that's going to be our 11.4. And then we need our radius. So if you look at the bottom there, 7 is the radius because this circle here is the base. So now let's just find the surface area by using the bottom formula there. So pi times radius squared plus pi times radius times the slant height. Okay, again, just type it in all at once, and let's round to the nearest hundredth if we need to. I'm getting 404.64, and they're measuring in meters, so square meters. Okay, and then our last example that we're going to do today. Here's our next cone. This time it's kind of laying on its side, so its base is over here on the side. We need our slant height, so 32.9 is going to be our slant height. And then we need our radius. So they told us that it's 27 when you go all the way across. For radius, I only need halfway. So half of 27 is 13.5. So 13.5 is our radius. Okay, and then now just start plugging in pi times radius squared, so 13.5 squared, plus the area of our base. So we're going to have pi times radius, 13.5, times our slant height, 32.9. Okay, into the calculator all at once. Round to the nearest hundredth if you need to. Okay, so I get a big number. I get 1,967.89. And this one they are measuring in millimeters. Okay, and that's about it for surface area of pyramids and cones. Just follow the formulas and you'll be all right for the most part. Let me know if you have any questions.